So if you follow this channel, you probably know that we covered every single character from BLEACH Rebirth of Souls with a little bit of a breakdown and also some gameplay. And now that we're at the end of it, we want to give you a tier list of every single character in this game. Keep in mind this is going to be all opinion based, but I am excited to actually hear how y'all feel about some of my ranking with some of these characters. Let me know why you disagree with it and why you agree with it if you do in the comments. I like to talk about it with y'all. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things, and you might get another tier list later on after we get some new patch updates and stuff like that. But I hope you enjoy the video, man. Let's hop into it. Alright, bro. So for the BLEACH Rebirth of Souls tier list, man, we have some categories. I'll put some music on, man. Some lo-fi, some anime lo-fi. I know y'all like, bro, why you always got the anime lo-fi on, bro? Because what else am I gonna put? But I could put some Ghibli music in the background. I could put some Ghibli, some Howl's Moving Castle, or some Spirited Away. We could do that, but oh yeah, Go Loser Ranger. I haven't started season 2 yet. I haven't started season 2 of Go Loser Ranger yet. But the categories we have, man. So I made an extra category. So SS means changes needed. They need a little bit of an adjustment because it's a little bit too strong. They're a little bit too strong. You said got to put that Crimson Sky on for a second. Crimson Sky. I haven't seen. You said that Crimson Sky. Which one is that? I'm gonna have to check and see. I've probably definitely heard it. Is it? It's a Ghibli song, Kit Mike. Crimson Sky. Which movie is it from? S is gonna be top tier. Top tier. So they're powerful, but I'm not gonna call for nerfs. It's fine. A is viable, meaning, you know, if you got enough skill, you can get it done, you know. B is average, meaning, you know, you're playing for fun. This character is like a fun character, but, you know, depending on what you're playing, you might get your ass waxed. C is you're playing on 3x3 difficulty. If you're maining this character, you got some skill, but, like, it can be a not fun time. It could be a not fun time with this character. And then D is needs buffs. Needs buffs. Like, severely needs buffs. Alright, man. Base Ichigo. I'll say base Ichigo is actually viable, man. Because, I mean, some of the best things... Some of the, main things about this game is deleting Konpaku, and Ichigo can do that very effectively. I would honestly I actually want to use base Ichigo a little bit more, but the way that he can deal damage and add an extra Konpaku destruction, it's pretty good, man. He's a pretty viable character for the way this game plays. You don't really, you know, not too bad. Of course, we know this fucking shithead goes up here, bro. He needs a change. I don't know fully where the change is at with him. I think personally maybe they need to get rid of his extension with Getsuga. I think that Getsuga, if he does a light combo and hits you with a Getsuga, maybe that should end it. I think that should be a combo ender. I think. They definitely gotta make some adjustment. Maybe make that longer. Maybe you only get 2 strings of it, or I don't know. But maybe they need to make it a finisher or something like that with this character. Either that, or they need to maybe reduce the damage of the Getsuga whenever you're not in the Getsuga aura. I think my favorite anime is Catcher in the Ballpark. Is that a sports anime? I haven't seen that one, Kobe. Dangai Ichigo, they've made enough adjustments, but I don't care, bro. I still think he needs to do a full soul break. I'm sorry. He needs to do a full soul break to me. I still think he needs a full soul break. I'm still not a fan because he has a teleporter. Let me stop seeing this ad. I'm not interested in this. He has a teleport, bro, and then he has a teleport into an unblockable, and it's a free teleport. Like, nah, bro. People are saying that he's good enough now. You can deal with him. I don't want to deal with him that way still. Fuck that. You said you're ripping my hair out waiting. DLC is gonna be pretty fire, man. Rukia, I still think she's better pre-awakening, in my opinion. I'm gonna go average. Average. I would honestly, if I'm fighting a Rukia, actually, I'm never worried. I'd say you're playing on 3x difficulty. You're playing on ×3 difficulty. Sorry about you. Uryu, I mean, if you know how to use Uryu, he's fine. I don't necessarily know if there's really a way to buff Uryu. I guess the way that you could maybe make Uryu better is making his initial arrows be able to link into his base combo, but he can only hit you with his normal light string combo if he's close to you. I don't know, maybe Uryu doesn't really need much of adjustments. Maybe that's how they keep it balanced, where he just can't completely like break the game. Maybe Uryu is fine, to be honest, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him. It's also because I haven't just like tried my hardest to fully learn him perfectly to the fullest extent. It's fine. Byakuya is top tier, but I think they've made enough adjustments to Byakuya where he's fine. He doesn't do a ton of damage. His Senkai can be a little powerful, and his counter can be a little bit powerful if he lands that counter, but truthfully speaking, even though he can zone you and hit you from anywhere, I don't think that his damage is just... He could still get chopped down by a tier or like Noitra or somebody if they can get close to him. Baseball, slice of life. And the main character offering a girl who sells beer and snacks. Did it just start, Kobe? Only baseball one I've watched is Oblivion Battery. I've seen Oblivion Battery. We got Yoriichi. Yoriichi, her damage is not the best, to be honest, but for people that like to have these nice little flashy combos and stuff like that, I'd say 3 episodes are out already. I want to put her in playing on 3 times difficulty. I'll say average. She's average. Nothing too crazy. Chad, you're playing on 3 times difficulty. His damage is pretty good, but his breakers don't really combo that well, but he does have a pretty good combo starter with his dash and quick, I do think. And he could do some really good damage if he does hit you with his charge up. We could maybe... I honestly think maybe in the long run, Chad maybe would be a little bit more viable than Rukia and Uryu, to be honest with you. He said, I know they're going to be mad at you for putting Danga in SS. Yeah, he does need to be there, bro. He needs to be there. Fuck that. Dude can teleport and then hit you with an unblockable. And then, like, his teleport, once he gets to stage 2, his teleport is fucking, like, I think he at least doesn't get punished from it if he whiffs it. Fuck that. That shit's cheese, bro. Urahara's nice. He's fine. I don't know if I'm going to say top tier, but I'll say highly viable. He's viable. I'd say he's more viable than Ichigo. I'd say he's very good. Urahara's nice. Gin is pretty nice as well. Viable. I think Gin is nice. He's viable. He's fine. Gin doesn't really need much changes. Once you learn this character, if you can get him down, I think Gin is pretty good. Maybe, you know, some tweaks here and there, maybe like for some of his hitboxes and stuff like that. For some things, maybe. But he's cool. He's annoying as shit to play sometimes. Rangiku, man. I do think a rework would be nice to extent. Somebody made a comment that it doesn't make sense that her signature action and then her spiritual pressure move 2 are basically the same thing. Just, you know, you get to activate it more quickly, or if you don't have to hold it. She does still have, I believe she has the Shakaho. She still does have her Kido, I'm pretty sure, whenever she's in the awakening, if I remember correctly. But you could argue some of her things are better pre-awakening. But Rangiku, she's a little difficult, man. You are playing on a little bit 3 times difficulty. If I said need a buff, does Rangiku need buffs? Does she? I'm trying to think, like, you'd have to like change some of her moves, and I just don't think they're gonna do that to characters. Like, you'd have to completely change her move. I don't know what you could do to that signature action to make it a little bit better than what it is currently. It'd be, I guess what would be cheese, what if she could do a breaker? What if she could do a breaker through her mist? That would be kind of, that's too broken though. I think Rangiku is just playing on 3 times difficulty. I just think maybe this character just wasn't meant to be extremely powerful. You know what I mean? If you can learn it, if you can get it going, you can work with Rangiku. She's kind of fine. Maybe a little bit of a damage buff. You can maybe do that. Damage buff. We'll say that. A little bit of a damage buff. Hitsugai, I feel like Hitsugai is fine. He does have, you know, signature action, which, you know, goes pretty far. Some of his moves are pretty nice. I think this character is honestly pretty cool. You know, he's fine. Maybe average. Say average. You can maybe even say viable because of his zoning potential. You can maybe say that ice is slow. So his ice is slow. I could say he's average. I don't know if he's better than Yoruichi necessarily. I'll put them around here in the same area. I'd say he's average. He's not bad. You can maybe even argue viable because of what he can do. His damage is pretty good, and he can also like zone from pretty far whenever he does have his ice gauge up. I'll say he's better than Yoruichi. Kenpachi, man. He just has no range, but his damage is there. He can take 6 Konpaku. Unfortunately with Kenpachi, I might have to say his main thing is the fact that he can deal a lot of damage and he can take those 6. That's pretty much it. If you're playing somebody that knows how to zone him and prevent him from getting close to you, his moves are pretty telegraphical. You can tell when they're coming. I would say maybe that I'd still probably pick Kenpachi over these two though. I'm not going to say that he's viable. I don't really just see people using him in tournaments when you're actually playing like in a real competitive situation. I don't know if he's viable in that, to be honest with you. If you really learn this character, maybe I'd say probably average for right now. Ukiura, the way this man drains his health is annoying as shit. His damage alone can make him viable. It does take a lot of his health, but I get they got to make it balance. It has to deal damage, and it also has to come at a price. I'll say that Ukiura is probably better than these characters. Oops. Got the alarm on. Let me cut the alarm off. I say that Ukiura is more viable than the characters below a level. He's not my type of character. I'm never going to be using this character because I don't like draining your own health. That shit, nah, I'm good on that. He could be here, though. I'd say he's better than these ones. He's more viable. Who we got here? Tozen. They made some reworks with some of his moves. I still don't like his special flash combo better. His special flash should be able to go directly into a light or directly into a heavy. His sword is a little short as well, which causes him to whiff quite often. He whiffs. The Bine Hiko is fine. The other one is fine. You could maybe, yeah. I think the main thing I want to see with him is his special flash. Special flash. I don't really see a lot of people using him in tournaments, and I think it's because of maybe some of the things and maybe also his damage. I'd maybe put him here. Maybe here. Yeah. Put him right here. You're not really playing on 3 times difficulty. I just think he needs some more combo fluidity with it, especially I think with his special flash. I think his special flash needs to pair a little bit better. Soifon, I mean, let people tell it. I mean, she does have a 6 move. I think Soifon is top tier. I think she's kind of fine, you know. She's fine. I thought that she was a little bit broken because I thought that like she could like put you into an infinite, but I realized that it's just her using her Ankin to just extend. I'm pretty sure that she can extend it on block, which could catch you slipping if you let go of your guard too early. Which I was thinking was an infinite, but it was really just her using her Ankin. Also, anything that I'm saying right now when you're watching this in video format, because this will be in a video, feel free to comment down below and correct anything if I'm saying it wrong or nothing like that. You know, I always like, you know, when we got the soul reaper scientists that give, you know, some of the good comments in the comments that help other people. So, if I'm wrong about this about Soifon, please be sure to let me know, but I'm pretty sure she can extend her combos even on guard using the Ankin, which does allow her to sometimes catch people slipping when they let go of their guard. Similar to what you get with like Ikaku and also Nell with her Sero. She's fine. Soifon's not too bad. She's fine. I don't really think too much needs to happen to her. Renji, they've already nerfed my guy, but he's still strong. I'd still say he's viable. I don't know about top tier because of certain counters there are for him. I'd say he's probably better than these ones though. I'd still say, yeah, he's very viable still. Renji's still fine. Ikaku actually does need some buffs. Yeah, not Ikaku. Izuru Kira, he needs some buffs. He needs some buffs. He does have that little setup where he can for sure take some Konpaku, but I think that when he pulls you in with the lightning, he should be able to go directly into lights better, or directly into something. That's the only thing that I think we need with Kidda. That, and I also think it'd be a lot better if his breaker was adjusted where it doesn't knock you far back, where it keeps you close so you can just go into your combos. I think those two things, and that makes Kidda average, makes him very liable, makes him very viable, able to be used. But for now, no. Nelly L, man. She's not impossible to fight against, but it does a lot of the times feel like you don't really have a lot of options to get hits in between her combo strings. Because of how aggressive she is and what she could do, I'm fine with the Ceros doing damage. I feel like her normal strikes should maybe be a little bit weaker. Nerfs, I'd say changes needed. Only with Nell, only thing I think make her base damage a little bit lower. Ceros are fine. Her combo strings, cool. You can let me know in the comments if there's any like things that you think broken with this character, things that she can get away with that you do think should be changed. My main thing is maybe I think that her damage should be a little bit lower. And I think maybe, I don't know what it is whenever she's in her awakening. I don't know if it's her special flash, the one where she comes up with the damn thingy and she slashes down, but then she can follow up again. I think she has like plus, or at least it's not punishable frames. Maybe if they're going to keep her with that, having those frames right there, her damage needs to be reduced. Either that, or they need to make it where you can punish her after she whiffs that. That's my adjustments for that. Grimmjow, I think Grimmjow's fine. I think he's viable. He has good damage, a good combo starter. He's honestly pretty fine. I think Grimmjow's viable. He's viable. I maybe put him down here underneath Ukiura. I think he might be better than these ones. Maybe, realistically. But he's viable. Mayuri, man. The way that you have to play with Mayuri, I still think they messed up his breaker. It doesn't make any sense to me why he can't just use his breaker for normal strikes. I feel like that alone would make him... It would change his character a lot. It'd make him a lot more powerful. I think that's one of the main things. I don't like his breaker. I don't like what they did with his breaker. I'm not going to say playing on 3 times difficulty. I'd say average. But he'd be much better just with that breaker adjustment. I know somebody's going to say in the comments, not everybody is meant to combo off of their breaker, but it doesn't really make sense for Mayuri not. I think some people were saying that it goes off of like what their technique is. We can check right now. We can fact check that. Some people said that it goes off your technique, so characters that don't really have technique are the ones that are not being able to combo. So let's check somebody. We can check Shunsui. No, it has nothing to do with technique, because Shunsui has full-blown technique. So his power is here, his toughness is here, his reach is here, his speed is here. So like, it makes no sense. Yeah, it doesn't have nothing to do with technique. I don't know who said that, but it's fine, you know, we just say things sometimes. But Shunsui has max technique, and he can't follow up after his breaker. So that doesn't make sense. You said at least they fixed the light attack he had. Yeah, they did fix it. I think fix his breaker. Fix Mayuri's breaker, and I think we're fine there. Fix the breaker, and we're fine there. If you really want to make a Mayuri main happy, fix the breaker, make it where you can follow up, and also make it where I can shoot out 2 poison balls. But you probably ain't gonna do that. You probably ain't gonna do that. It's fine. Aizen, honestly, Aizen, I don't think he's too horrible. Maybe only thing that I could say, maybe, honestly, because like his awakenings and stuff like that, he was already strong. Him going, he awakens faster now. I think if people want a little bit of a nerf to this character, they do think he's strong. I think what you can do to make Aizen a little bit more dealable with is just make both of his signature actions, no matter what the activation is, whether it's the Heinen or the Shinjoku, Yoko, whatever. The Shinjoku Hodo is fine. I would just make the Heinen have a little bit of more of a stun, a lock, make it more punishable, I would say. Make it more punishable. And maybe reduce the range. Maybe reduce the range of the Heinen a little bit until he starts getting to the higher levels. But maybe going into the second state so fast, I don't think was a good idea. He does go into that second state pretty fast. So maybe we could maybe reduce the second state again, but that'd be like, that kind of seems like them like going back and saying they made a mistake. I maybe think just need an adjustment with the signature action. Maybe not making that as easily spammable. and maybe a little bit more punishable. Maybe some more, a little bit, you're stuck longer after you do the little armor signature action that allows you to, which one of them, no, not signature action, special flash. Special flash is when he shoots out the high end. Have that one have a little bit more of a longer stun where you're able to get punished if you whiff that, so you can't just spam that out. The signature action where he does the armor, they could also maybe just extend his waiting time before he can act. I think that's fine. If you make it where it's a little bit more easy to punish him whenever he makes a mistake, I think that's fine. I do think Aizen is top tier, so we can maybe put him here. Maybe he does need a little bit of a small adjustment. Yamamoto, I think, is fine. He's very powerful, but he does burn his health. They fixed the thing with his guard pressure. I think Yamamoto is fine. Maybe I just haven't played the one that... Maybe I just haven't played one that's going to make me think he's not fine. But I think Yamamoto is fine. He's cool. Maybe I can put him here. And I'm sorry if I didn't put these in the correct order. Some people would probably think that Soy Phone is better than Byakuya, I guess, because she can deal more damage. She can deal 6, so yeah, she has an easy condition with only taking 2. Shinji, oh my god, bro. You might be seeing this tier list after the Shinji video, probably. I recorded another Shinji video. I have a love-hate relationship with this fucker, bro. I like Shinji, but my biggest complaint, number 1, he should be able to hit you with a breaker off of Hiyori pressure. Hiyori coming in and hitting your guard, he should be able to come in with a breaker and follow up. 2, I think that the spiritual pressure move 2 has a horrible hitbox. That thing whiffs even directly after a breaker, even if you step in and you gotta wait, and depending on the character you're fighting, they can hit you before you can even get it off. I think spiritual pressure move 2 needs a rework on that hitbox. That hitbox is ass. And 3rd is just, yeah, making things easy to follow up after Hiyori. If Hiyori has you into a block break, like you're blocking, if you're blocking whenever Hiyori is like hitting you, I should be able to follow up with whatever breaks through your guard and do it. I used my signature action quite a few times with the armored one that's unblockable, and it didn't work. It actually showed it in my video where I used the unarmored one and it hit the guard and it just did the guard damage thingy. It didn't even break the guard. So yes, he needs some work. He's strong in those other sense. I think besides that, it's just some of his moves, man. Shinji is viable, but they have to fix that. I don't want to put him in D. I don't want to put him in D just because of those changes, because, I mean, people would go crazy on me saying you think Shinji's a D, but he needs those changes badly. It hurts his character so much, bro. So much. He'd be so peak with those few changes right there, bro. This makes this character top tier. Right now, I'd say you'd almost be able to move him to average, but I'll put viable, but they gotta fix that shit. Quick, bro. Quick. Fix it. Make it where he can follow up after Hiyori, and please fix the hitbox of that spiritual pressure move too. Shit is ass. Zero Porto, man, I think he does have quite a few loops that he can hit you with, and I think, you know, his going to his stages is completely fine. I don't think it's too slow or nothing like that. Maybe some adjustments to how he can loop you. His damage isn't just extremely amazing, but I do think once he gets into Awakening, Zero Porto can get a little bit annoying with some of the tech that he has. We're not going to go like top tier or changes needed like that bad, but I could say he's viable. Some people don't really think that Zero Porto is good. Nah, bro, he don't need more than that, bro. He's fine with 5, bro. I think that Zero Porto is actually pretty fine. If you're playing a good Zero Porto, Kid Mike, you'll see that he's fine with 5. He's fine with 5, bro. He talking about, can we get it? He doesn't need 7, bro, because he gets 2 revives, unless you're going to be saying that you're getting less health. Unless you're saying that he gets less health. There's no way that he gets 7 and then he gets 3 back and 3 back. That basically means he has 13 health bars. So the only way that you're going to give him more bars to 7, that, nah, Kid Mike. 5 is fine, bro. 5 is fine there, bro. 5 is fine. Shunsui, he has max technique, but for some reason can't use his breaker. It doesn't make any sense to me. Can't follow up with it. It hurts the character. He'd be a lot stronger with that, just with that easy follow up. A lot easier just with that follow up. I mean, his tornado move is pretty strong. He also has another teleport. His children games are cool as well. I'm just not a fan of the breaker. That's all it is. The breaker is just doesn't make any sense to me. So I do think I don't really see people using Shunsui. His damage is pretty good though. I'd say average. I'm not gonna say he's better than Kenpachi or some of these characters. I'd maybe put him like right here, average. They gotta fix some things though. Me, the breaker. I know y'all are gonna be in the comments, bro. This man with these breakers. Yes, bro. Because it's people, now that we've been playing it long enough. Breaker's the strongest fucking mechanic in the game. So yes, if you can't use your breaker to do a combo, that shit makes you drastically not as good. You realize most of the top tier characters that people use in the tournaments are all people that can follow up off of their breakers easily. Ain't nobody using no fucking Shunsui. Ain't nobody using fucking Mayuri. Or ain't nobody using any of these characters that can't follow up off of their breakers. You don't see Uryu. You don't see Chad. Nobody's using them. Nobody's using Kida because breaker is one of the strongest things in this game. And if you can't follow up off of that shit, you're kind of ass. But we look at Kamamura. He's still fine. Yeah, Bleach Rebirth of Breakers, basically. Kamamura is cool. He's fine. I think he's viable. Some people, I saw some tech with how he can get past Aizen. How he can get past Aizen's abilities. Where he's able to counter if you just use the unblockable one. Renji doesn't have an unblockable move, and I think that makes Kamamura a little bit more powerful. I think he also has a combo starter that gives him some frames where he can do whatever he wants. I think it's the shoulder rush. I think Renji has better range, and if you're playing Renji, you can maybe like really zone somebody out and go crazy, but Kamamura, maybe he is a little bit better. I do see a lot more Kamamuras out there, so I'm going to give this one to the community over my personal opinion. Personally, I enjoy Renji more than Kamamura, but I've seen Kamamuras make it farther and do a little bit more with what his kit has. So, we'll give it to Kamamura right there. Shuhei. If you saw my last video, nah, buddy. I get what y'all are saying down there, but that fear gauge, I won't say that bad, but I'd say he's average, bro. Average. That fear gauge needs some help, though, bro. That fear gauge. Come on, man. Y'all can't defend that shit. You can't defend that shit when Ikaku and everybody else's gauge goes up so goddamn fast, bro. That gauge is so fucking slow. And I know there was one guy, he was giving some good tips and good comments, but he was saying that, don't even worry about getting it to the max. The thing is just getting to 13 or 14 because then the damage goes up. But that defeats the purpose of him even having the damn meter then. What's the point of having the meter if you ain't gonna never be able to get the shit maxed? It was like, what, 30 seconds left. Me and my opponent had already awakened. My Konpaku was already down to like 4 or 3. He was down to like 4. And I wasn't maxed out yet. It doesn't make any sense. Anybody else has their gimmick fully into effect by then. So, yeah. Ikaku is good. Ikaku is nice. No adjustments needed. He said, really the goal is getting to your Bankai as get his... What you talking about with Shuhei? Ikaku is nice. Me personally, I'd say he has a way to deal with a lot of the stuff. He can't really zone. But I don't know, man. Might be a little bit of a stretch. I say viable. I think maybe he could be top tier, but being objective and thinking about what we have at the higher levels, I'd say viable. I'll put him right here. Noitra, I know that he does insane damage. He has great pressure, but he is slow, and he's not going to really be able to deal with the zoner, but I think in the average tier, he's at the top of average. I could say he's viable depending on who you're playing. I could say he's viable. If I'm going in terms of this tiers of here, I'd say Noitra's probably here. If you really know how to play with him, he could be a lot better, but I'll put him right here. I'll say viable. I think because of some of the things that he can do, I think Noitra is better at doing the damage game over Kenpachi. Noitra, besides the 6. That's really, Kenpachi would honestly probably be like in D tier if it wasn't for him doing 6 with his second thingy. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. If Kenpachi didn't do 6, he'd probably be down here with how he is, unfortunately. Do I even need to say anything, bro? Do I even need to say anything? She does need an adjustment. She needs an adjustment, bro. Like the guy was saying in the comments, man, I appreciate buddy down there. Maybe all I need to do with Tier is just make her her guard damage a little bit lower. Her guard chip maybe could be a little bit lower. Me personally, I'm not a fan of her having plus frames on so many of those moves, and also having a little bit of a loop she could put you in. But if y'all want to sit here, like I said, I think loops are corny. Sorry, I'm not gonna feel bad about it. I think it's corny, bro. It's corny. It's corny. I get it. It's in the game. Supposed to be fun. I just think it's corny. It's a corny way to play for me personally. But I'll settle for chip damage, guard damage going down. I'll settle for that. It's cool. And somebody might say, bro, you don't like it. You think it's corny because you're getting beat by it because you're ass. No, it's not because I'm ass. Not because I'm getting beat by it. If you've seen my videos, if somebody beats me genuinely playing in a normal way, I have no issues with it. I'm always like, hey, yeah, GG's to them. They beat my ass. But loops, I feel like loops and using loops is a way to cope for something that you don't have in the game in another area. I feel like you're picking the easy way to win with that. And I don't know. I just feel like you're coping. That's what I feel like. I feel like you're compensating for something else that you're missing. You're going to the easiest way. It's how I felt in Shinobi Striker as well. People using loops. I just feel like outside of that, you can't really do shit. So you result to loops. Coyote Stark. They could. I think what they could do to make him a little bit better. You're playing on 3 times difficulty. What you could do to make Coyote Stark better is just make his gauge charge up faster. You could make his guns, whenever he's charging, make it come up faster. If he could charge a little bit faster, I think that's all he really needs. The rest of his stuff is fine, you know. I'm not a big fan of not being able to choose when you lose your Konpaku. Not gonna lie to you, not a big fan of that. But it is what it is. Just make him be able to charge faster, and I think he'll be pretty good. And then we got the boy Kaien Shiba. Kaien Shiba. Top tier. Like him. Even without his loop, he's nice. He's really good. He can even probably honestly close the distance on a Byakuya. I don't know if I'd say he's better, but he's right here. Kaien's nice. Kaien's pretty good. And I think this is I think this might be my list, bro. Might be good, bro. I know y'all are probably thinking like, oh, he's gonna say everybody. I mean, there's quite a few characters that I didn't. This is actually where I think everybody should go. Okay, in terms of where they are. The only characters that I think need a little bit of nerfs is Bankai Ichigo, Dangai Ichigo, Nell, Aizen, and Tier. I don't have everybody in need buffs that should be in need buffs because I don't feel like they're a D tier, but I do think some of their things that hurt them are a pretty big thing. So you gotta remember, I think Shinji needs a change down here. I also think Shunsui needs a change. Mayuri as well, he needs a little bit of a buff. Coyote Stark could be fixed. So yeah, I've set changes to all these characters, but they're not so bad that they're down here. These characters drastically need something. They drastically need something because it just doesn't feel liable at all. But these ones, you know, some small changes could, you know, help them out a lot, bro. But let me know, you know, I'm recording this on stream, so you got to see some live comments. But let me know in the comments, man. How do y'all feel about this tier list? And if you disagree with me, let me know your reasoning for disagreeing me in the comments, respectfully, and we can talk about it, man. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the tier list. We'll probably do another one if there's another like update or something like that later on in the future, bro. But yeah, that's it.